It's a beautiful day here in Chicago, Illinois. I calculated that I need about $90 million to make a movie and show it in the theaters. I need $7 million for the budget itself, and then I need about 80 million to show it in the theater. Well, why would I need so much money to show it in the theater? That's because I want it to be free to watch. And I don't know how to show it in theaters unless I pay the theater directly. I didn't used to think this, but now that's how I feel. And the way you look at things change over time. Your values change. Morality changes as you learn new things. I used to think it made sense and it was moral to charge for a product or service, and now I don't believe that. Now I think the moral thing is to offer the service for free and then see how the generosity and charity of people play out. This idea would be kind of the root of the gift economy. So a lot of people will say, Theo, that's impossible. No one is going to give you $90 million to create a film and distribute it for free among a set of movie theaters. And why do I want $80 million to put in theaters? Well, that's because I'd like to have about 16 million people view this film. 16 million Americans. I'd like to show it overseas too, but that's something to think about for another time. So, a lot of people would think that it's impossible today to expect that kind of money, to expect that you would somehow, receive that kind of money. Well, I don't know if I would say that I expect it, but I do think it's possible. I do think a generous soul or generous souls out there would be willing to give me that kind of money. It's something to do with believing. It's something to do with looking at the phrase from the Bible that all things are possible with God. And I really don't think you get anywhere unless you genuinely believe that something is true. Now, that's not to say that it's true at that moment, but you have to believe in it in order to, you have to set it up as a hypothesis in order to properly test the results. So, in this case, I'm setting it up as a hypothesis that someone somewhere will give me about $90 million, or a group of people, I assume. And that's the way I'm going about it. That's what I'm going for. So you could say that now it's possible that this project never comes about. I wouldn't say that I'm, like the most mentally stable person. I don't have a lot of background or hard record evidence. I'm not like a player on the scene of cinema. I'm not known. Basically, what I believe is that you need to find a good purpose in life. You need to have morals. A lot of people do things and they don't have a lot of morals behind it. And they are successful because the people that they are doing things for are not necessarily moral. So, in other words, if you feed people's addictions, then you can be very successful. If you have like a company like McDonald's that sells meat and junk food, and you have a population that loves meat and junk food, you will be successful. But that's not the success that I'm looking for. I'm looking for more or less, I'm looking to be as moral as possible. Um, I won't shoot this film unless my cast and crew are kind to each other. I'll stop all production if people are being nasty with each other. I mean, probably before I stop production, I would just eject the people or the parties that have the wrong attitude or are displaying displaying the wrong attitude. But there are certain things that I want to do here. I'm not a vegan, but I want to be at some point, and if I have control over a group of people or some control over how things are done, then I think it's important that I, go for the highest standards. So I would have an all vegan catering service. I forget what they call food on the set, but so there's things like that I would do, and a lot of these stipulations that I have might mean that this production, it might, in many people's minds, would inhibit this production. And it is true that I could be completely unsuccessful. I could go for this and I could be completely unsuccessful. It might never happen. But I do think that in trying, I have contributed to the mass consensus or the mass enterprise of life. Even people that have failed businesses have contributed in some way. So maybe I don't receive $90 million. Maybe I just shoot a $7 million movie and I put it on YouTube. But I do want to set it up as a goal for myself I want this movie to be seen in theaters. I want that experience to be available for people. Maybe demanding a united attitude. I don't want to be like too authoritarian, too communist or whatever, but maybe demanding a loving attitude on set is too much. Maybe that would prolong production and create budget woes. But that is the standard at which I would want this production to go by, and I'm not willing to cater to any lower standard than that. And even, as I say, if the whole thing fails, if nothing works, I think it will assist the world in its own way. So here I am, one guy in Chicago, wanting to go for his dreams, come what may. Thanks for watching.